AITA Hall for emasculating my 32 female, fiancé 38 male, in front of his family? My fiancé and I have been together for about 6 years, engaged for 2. After we got engaged, we sat down and had the deal breakers talk. Basically, things in our lives, our futures, hypothetical situations that leave little room for compromise, like adopting children, finances, family boundaries, religion, etc. One of the things on my list was no prenup. I'm not here to debate with anyone about their use. I just think that if you're preparing for divorce before even getting married, it's a sign that you're probably marrying the wrong person. He agreed, and everything was fine. Lately, his family, particularly his mother, keeps on bringing up signing a prenup. I've told her no many times, said this is an issue between us and we will discuss it privately and make our own decisions as a couple. He also tells her no, although more weakly. Well, last night we went there for dinner and she brought out an actual prenup drafted by her lawyer. She put it in front of me after dinner and told me to sign it. Obviously, I didn't even read it, let alone sign it. She called me a gold digger. No one, including my fiancé, stood up for me, so I stood up for myself. I told her that there's no gold to dig here. I make 4 times as much as he makes. I'm an MD and he dropped out second year. I've paid all of my student debt. He has over 100,000 left. I have my own house, ample savings, and will certainly inherit more from my parents than he will from his. They have 6 kids and are middle class. What is she worried about? That shut her up real quick, especially when my sister-in-law then said, if anything, he's the gold digger here. My fiancé is now angry with me. He said it was emasculating for his family to know I'm so much more successful than him, and his brothers are making jokes and changed his contact info to gold digger. Personally, I don't think I was rude or out of line, but he thinks I was an a-hole and could have handled it better. Am I the a-hole here? Now for the top comments. If there's anything emasculating here, it's that your fiancé can't keep mommy out of his relationships even as he approaches 40. Edit, not the a-hole. Didn't figure this would end up where judgments might be relevant. Holy smoke! I had skipped right over the rages. Have mercy. Future mother-in-law didn't come out of nowhere with this. I'd wager that either one, the fiancé lied to his mother and said he was the breadwinner, or B, his mother assumed he was the higher earner and he went along with it. That's why I didn't defend Opie. Not Dayhall. He didn't stand up for you, so you did for yourself. That's on him. But I'd seriously reconsider a relationship with a partner who thinks it's emasculating to make less money. I would do a prenup for my own sake if I were Opie in case the relationship ends. Not Dayhall. He didn't find the gold digger title offensive or insulting when it was directed at you, but it's a problem if he's called one? If I can ask, why do you want to be part of this crap show? Your future mother-in-law doesn't even pretend to respect you or your boundaries. She doesn't like you because she sees you as being beneath the family and trying to marry up. Your fiancé does nothing to intervene when his family is inappropriate and rude. His masculinity and how it's perceived are more important to him than how you feel when disrespected by his family. His idea of love is damaging. After you marry, the only thing that might change is your last name. The rest of this will not. From the little I can gather here, you bring too many great things to the table just to sit down with him and starve. To be honest, I am second-guessing things. His family's Middle Eastern and traditional, but he was raised here, so he doesn't share the same values. As he gets older, he seems to be getting weaker when standing up to his parents. His parents see me as below him because I am white and not a good girl. That is, won't cook, / clean more than my fair share. I'm career-minded, want to adopt, don't want to be a stay-at-home mother. I'm not religious. This generally doesn't affect me because he usually stands up for me and our time is limited with them. But I do feel it's getting worse. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for kicking my boyfriend's friend out and making him homeless because he wouldn't take off his shoes? I, 22 female, and my boyfriend, 24 male, decided to let his friend, 24 male, stay here a while because he was homeless living in a tent when we picked him up. The agreement was a few days, but it's turned into a month now. We have a 1-bedroom house and I have a 3-year-old stepson. It's already cramped. Things were okay, except for the fact that I am a big clean freak. I just like my house clean. I deep clean every weekend. My dishes are done and kitchen cleaned and wiped down after every meal. My biggest thing is the floors being clean, because I hate walking around with no socks or shoes and things getting stuck on my feet. I grew up with addicts, and the house was disgusting. My house being messy gives me anxiety because of this. I'm in therapy. He got a job mowing. Great. He's on a track to get out of here. It's a rule in our house that if you aren't a guest, you take your shoes off at the door. Our 3-year-old takes them off when he walks inside. Close family visiting take them off when they come inside. I've taught my 8-month puppy to wipe her feet off on the mat outside. He never takes his shoes off. I ask him nicely the first 3 weeks. Since he mows, his shoes are caked in grass. He never cleans up after himself, whether it's the floor or his dishes or his own dirty clothes. When I mentioned it, he doesn't even get the broom and clean it up. I've swept the entire house every day since I started staying here. Yesterday, he walked inside, stomped all around hardwood floors. The whole house is hardwood and tile. When I came out of my room and saw this, I raised my voice and said, "Walk outside, take your freaking shoes off, pick them up, bring them inside and put them on the mat." It is not that hard. My 3-year-old and my dog can do it. Why can't you? He said, "You're going to have to remind me every day because I forget. It's grass. You don't have to be a witch." I then told him to get his stuff and get out. It's disrespectful, a slob, and I don't need to remind a grown man to take his shoes off every day. I don't have to remind a 3-year-old or my 8-month dog. He got pissed off and yelled stuff, so I threw all his stuff outside. My boyfriend got home and I told him he called me a witch, and I went outside and they were yelling. I just feel bad because now he's homeless. My boyfriend understands and doesn't want him here if he's going to disrespect me while living here and eating our food for free. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It's not his house, and you guys are literally housing and feeding him for free. He can take his damn shoes off. That's what I was thinking. I've lived with a friend for free before and anything they asked me to do was respected. Especially something so simple. I even gave them money where I could. And they had some weird house rules, lol. I didn't stay there for very long, but when I was there, I was extremely grateful and did whatever asked within reason. He's homeless because he chose to be. Definitely not the a-hole. I was in his shoes last year when my school left me homeless due to COVID, and I had to sleep on a friend's couch in their 1-bedroom apartment until I could afford to fly to live with my family. The situation sucked for everyone, so I at least made it easier on my friends by cleaning their house for them every day between classes and while they were at work. It really helped them because they had been depression nesting for months beforehand, and it helped me keep a roof over my head until I was a bit more stable. The kindness you extend to him needs to be reciprocated, and him calling you a witch for his ahatery shows how little he respects your homemade rules. Not an a-hole. It's not that hard a rule to follow. Keeping clean when you have a 3-year-old and a puppy is also important. It sounds like he has issues to work through, but you're not his therapist. Oh, he definitely has issues, which is another reason I feel bad. Before he was homeless, he got his then girlfriend pregnant, now ex, and the baby was stillborn, which still affects him. 100% understandable. It'll affect him for the rest of his life. Shortly after the baby was born, he dabbled with hard substances but got clean. I don't know. I feel bad that he went through all that, and now he's homeless because he wouldn't take his shoes off. I'm considering letting him come back if he will just take his shoes off and clean after himself, but I don't want to be called names or disrespected again, and I definitely don't want to sweep again for the next 3 to 5 days. Next story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for firmly telling my husband that I'll continue to let the kids see their grandmother whether he likes it or not?" My husband and I have been married for 8. We have 2 kids, 6 and 3. He was adopted. His bio mom reached out recently. He was very open for a relationship with her and kept seeing her alone for months till he started taking me and the kids to visit. His bio mom was mean to me while nice to the kids. I was never welcomed by her. My mother-in-law, on the other hand, adoptive mother, is the most generous, sympathetic woman I've met. She and my husband are no longer in good terms, and he stopped visiting her months ago. He'd take the kids to see his bio mom often, and at odd times, like during school hours or late nights when kids should be sleeping. Whenever I point that out to him, he'd say the kids needed to bond with their bio grandma. He'd get upset whenever I take the kids to see their grandmother and would start arguing. He doesn't talk to his adoptive mom because his bio mom influenced him. She's nasty, and he's been acting irrationally ever since she came into the picture. Yesterday, I was getting the kids ready to go to celebrate their grandmother's birthday. My husband didn't want to go. He asked where we were going. I told him, and he started arguing about how he's in no contact with her, therefore the kids shouldn't go to see his adoptive mom. I told him me and the kids have the right to see her since she loves us, and they absolutely love her. So robbing the kids of a relationship with her suddenly was not acceptable. He said they have grandma, his bio, and I should respect/encourage them to have a relationship with her too. I said I'm not stopping the kids, but he was the one stopping the kids from seeing the grandmother, quite frankly, been there their entire lives. Called me a hypocrite for complaining while doing the same thing. I'm not. It's different to not get along with someone than demand and dictate if others should talk to or see them. I lost control, and I just blew up, saying I will be continuing to let the kids have a relationship with their grandma whether he likes it or not. We ended up going to the birthday. Mother-in-law is devastated to say the least. Her son didn't come and hadn't been visiting. We got home and we were silent all evening. He fed the kids, did the dishes, then stopped by the bedroom door to tell me he was going to see his mom for an hour and ask if I needed anything. I asked him what would it possibly need at 11 p.m. He started laughing, then gave me a look, then walked out. Still thinks I was wrong for how I blew up. Now for the top comments. What on earth is going on there? It's all very weird. His behavior screams affair. But it's his mom he's seeing, so I would tell him point blank his behavior is strange and out of character, and it looks like a red flag to you. I have a feeling we're missing a lot of this story. I have a feeling that Opie is missing a lot of this story. Info: why is he no longer in contact with his adoptive mom? That's the important part, really. If it's trivial reasons, then you're completely in the right. But if he has genuinely big reasons, then it's a bit murkier. He claims that she doesn't want him to see and visit his bio mom, which is not true because I've seen how he's been lashing out only because his adoptive asks why he doesn't visit anymore. Is there a chance he is abusing substances with his bio mother? The strange hours could indicate coke or meth. Why was he leaving to see his bio mom at 11 p.m.? That's sketchy. But no, not the a-hole. He essentially dumped the mother that raised him for his bio mom, and now he expects his family to do the same. She has been a wonderful grandma and mother-in-law for many years, so there was no reason to stop having a relationship with her. He can work on and encourage the kids to have a relationship with his bio mom, but that's on him. Honestly, pay attention, because I assume he will start saying mean things about mother-in-law, like she's not your real grandma, so the kids will find favor in bio. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not cleaning up after my shower to prove a point? Hi. We recently moved to our new house. All good except for this issue. Whenever my husband takes a shower, he leaves the bathroom wet. And I mean slippery wet. I talked to him about it. Did a PowerPoint presentation about it with the help of my son's photography skills. Reminded him about it. No avail. Still nothing's changed. Our youngest son would run to the bathroom barefoot. Yes, and might slip since the floor is wet. Soapy. He didn't see how wet it was cause I end up cleaning. Not for him but for the kids, so the kids could use it safely. Last week, before he used the bathroom, I went in and took a shower. Then I got my stuff and got out. He was in a hurry. He immediately walked in with his shaving tools, saying he had an important meeting with his buddies at the restaurant and wanted to get there first. He suddenly stopped talking and started yelling, "What is this? What the hell is this? Why is the floor wet?" He looked disgusted, saying I should have cleaned up before getting out the shower. I stood at the door with my eyes rolling so hard I was brain dead for 6 seconds. The hypocrisy! He was barefoot and looked quite disgusted, saying he couldn't spend another minute with his feet on soapy, wet floor. He immediately ran out and went on to lecture me about how unacceptable that was. I told him that's what I deal with whenever he takes a shower. He tried to argue back, saying it was just me using excessive amounts of water, but I told him it's the same outcome. He threw a fit about needing the bathroom floor clean so he could shave and then go to the restaurant ASAP. I handed him the mop and told him it won't take long to mop the floor clean, then I went to get my clothes. He was upset, but cleaned up, got dressed, and left. He texted saying he was the last to show up. They had a bet that the last one to show up at the restaurant pays for half their meals, and told me the mopping I made him do because of my shower cost him X amount of money. And to add insult to injury, his buddies were laughing at the reason why he was late, and were basically mopping the floor with his integrity. I was too busy with the kids to respond. Plus, I thought he needed time to calm down. But still, he got home and kept bringing it up, making me feel bad. Not Dayhall. You aren't a maid. The fact that he expects you to mop up after everybody, but throws a toddler temper tantrum when he's given a taste of his own medicine, is insane. It's strange how many husbands just expect their wives to be maids/clean up everything. It's why I don't have one. I didn't get a master's degree to be someone's maid. Info. Is there something wrong with the shower? The water should be contained to the actual shower area, not to fill the bathroom with soapy water. It's possible this is not a typical Western style. Some countries have the whole bathroom tiled and don't have a separate shower, but rather the whole thing is the shower. That's what went through my mind. If not, there's a bigger problem.